Buckets Over Bullying was born out of a preventable tragedy. We advocate to enact change around social media-related harms, specifically cyberbullying. We educate parents and students on how pervasive and dangerous cyberbullying can be, and in some cases, can lead to deadly consequences. Alongside our education efforts, we're driving a movement for accountability. Illinois has a Bullying Prevention Act. Schools are mandated under the act to have certain policies in place that address bullying and cyberbullying known and reported to a school. This includes notifying parents of bullying reports within 24 hours, investigating bullying reports, keeping parents informed about an investigation, and imposing appropriate consequences for bullying. However, when schools do not comply with this law and harm results to Illinois school children, nothing happens. Every reported legal case citing violation of this law has been rejected by the courts. In our current litigation efforts against the Latin School of Chicago, the court rejected our claims under the Act, finding that parents and school children have no right to sue when schools ignore the requirements of the Act. According to the court ruling, school children harmed by violations of the law can't do anything about it. A law that's promoted by our state legislators as a protection of school children that can't be enforced is an affront to parents and to students. It's a complete joke. For example, if a child reports cyberbullying to their school and the school doesn't inform you, delays informing you, misrepresents the facts to you, or does little or nothing to investigate the bullying report, there is no legal action you can take to redress these violations of the Act, according to the court in our case.
At the same time, your child is exposed to risks such as continued bullying and retaliation, emotional distress, psychological injury, self-harm, or suicide. Students who are being bullied are too vulnerable to exercise good judgment. This is why it's so dangerous to prevent you as a parent from understanding what is happening at school and how that may impact your child's behavior at home. Parents, you have an absolute right to intervene, support, and advocate for your child. A law with no teeth, especially one purporting to protect children, is worse than no law at all. It gives the public a false sense of security, one that is discovered by most parents only after their child experiences bullying and cyberbullying. It is not enough to hope that children will see the harm in all forms of bullying. It is not enough to hope that a victimized student will figure out how to help themselves. And it is not enough to hope that school leadership will protect our children. The Bullying Prevention Act imposes duties upon schools, but the courts have interpreted this law to have no enforceability or consequences. This is unacceptable. We have called out the Latin School of Chicago specifically because our son, Nate Bronstein, forever 15, reported cyberbullying by multiple Latin School of Chicago students. He also reported his own emotional and psychological injury to the school shortly before he died by suicide. Latin chose not to inform us of Nate's cyberbullying report. They recharacterized his experience as a social media incident, not cyberbullying, and took no meaningful action to address Nate's report. We continue to call out the Latin School of Chicago because what happened to Nate is not a unique circumstance. We now know that Latin failed its students before Nate came to the school, and Latin continues to fail its students to this day. There must be accountability at the Latin School of Chicago and all Illinois schools. While we are seeking to appeal the ruling in our case, we also call on the Illinois General Assembly to stop playing games and do something to protect all of Illinois school children and to make clear that the Bullying Prevention Act is enforceable. It is only with risk of consequences that we will start to see actual protection for Illinois school children.